What is up, OSIMA Ball Reviews? Keegan here, and welcome to OSIMA Summer School. I'm going to be trying to make some videos going forward, talking about certain different things leading up to Junior Gold. Because I bowled Junior Gold, and I know what it's like to bowl Junior Gold. I don't know what it's like to do good at Junior Gold. I was young at the time, and I didn't know much. And my goal here is to make that a little bit better for y'all. A lot of this knowledge is a culmination of my own experiences. I'm not that great of a bowler, I will admit that, but I do know a lot about bowling. Not as much as some, but more than, I'd say, most. But most of this is coming from my talks with successful college bowlers, other PSOs from back when I was a PSO, and just generally talking to very successful bowlers, my general knowledge of all of that. Today is going to be arsenal building. For Junior Gold specifically, if I remember correctly, it's 5 balls, including your spare ball. And so I'm going to have 2 separate sections. The first 3 are the exact same for both. It's the last 2 balls that kind of get switched around. Technically, it's just the last ball. And what... Actually, I'll frame it like that. There's a 1 ball difference depending on how you throw the ball. But let's get into that. First, if the first section is for thumb-in bowlers who can flatten their hand out. Like, if you can make any ball a spare ball, or more specifically, if you can make a urethane ball be a spare ball, urethane ball is going to be your 5th slot. That that frees you up for a wild card ball. And I'll get to that in a second. First ball should just be your favorite ball. The ball that you trust the most, the ball that you throw the most, the ball that you know is going to do pretty much the same thing every time you throw it and can let you know what ball to go to. That, for both people, that's the same. I'll just get into what's different at the very end. So yeah, just your benchmark ball. That's what has to come with you no matter what. Then we get into above that. There's going to be, what I would look for is to just have something that's going to hook no matter what. Because on the longer patterns, or even just like the really heavy patterns, sometimes just needing something to move is going to be your best look. Something like a gem, extreme envy, or like an alpha jackal or evoke on the motive side. I'm not super familiar with motive, so I said 2 options there. Yeah, just like something that you know can dig and roll on that. Just so you have confidence in moving. Below that, you could either go for something that's going to hook a little bit more than your benchmark, less than your super big ball, and it's still going to be the same shape. Or you could look for something that's going to be an entirely different shape and give you different look options. Say your middle ball's an IQ Tour, you could look at like an Optimum Idol or a Phase 2 to go below a gem. Kind of like that type of idea. Or, if you're wanting just a completely different look entirely, you could look at something like a DNA Coil, an Effect, a Jackal Ghost. Jackal Ghost is a weird ball. It's a high-performance solid, but it's quicker on the back end. There's a reason they're still making it, though. It's honestly a pretty good ball. You could even look at something like a Nuclear Forge, or like an Ethos from Brunswick, kind of fitting in there. The middle ball, there's 3. Truly, there are 3 for each, like, per brand. And it's going to be a Teal Rhino Pro, an IQ Tour, and a Venom Shock. Those are kind of just the standard of a true middle ball. They're nothing special, and that makes them very special, because there's never going to be a time that you can say this isn't a useful ball to have, because it's going to be very predictable. And even if it tells you do not use this ball, that's a useful information because it won't really lie to you. Alright, fourth and fifth ball. Fourth ball, just kind of straight up, it's urethane. You need a urethane ball for the shorter patterns. If you don't have urethane, have just a super sanded big ball and try to just roll it a lot instead of getting around it. Sometimes people can make that work. Heck, back when I went to my first junior gold, I didn't even know what urethane was. So I used an Alpha Crux, and I used my hand to manipulate it. Honestly, I was better at that back then than I am now. Now that I know about different bowling balls and have so many of them, you can see them in the back there. But yeah, just you need urethane. It's gonna make your life easier. The last ball, like I said, if you can flatten your hand out, then use your urethane as a spare ball. If you can't, well, you need a spare ball. You're going to need one. Because spares are what get people to that second round. But for the people that can flatten your hand out and just throw urethane as a spare ball, wild card ball. And this is when you're going to want something just different. Just like nothing else that you have in the bag. Or pick one of those other 3 slots and just look for something to complement it or just be a slight step sideways. Like, you could look at, say, most people are actually on the Storm side of things are probably going to be using like a phase 2 for their kind of middle ball and have a strong ball and angular or just a different look for that 2 ball. I would bring like the Road or something like that because it's going to be a pretty good complement. It's going to be weaker overall and sharper, and should also be a pretty clean step down into it. I used to run phase 2 and high road for my like sport shot arsenal back in juniors. And that one worked. That was a really good step down. I think the Road's actually going to bridge that gap a little bit better. Talking about me specifically, I'm actually drawing the phase 2 pretty soon because I haven't had one since I have been allowed to throw Storm stuff again. But yeah, that's kind of what I would look for. Just a big ball. So, in the list of priority, your favorite ball, a big ball, urethane, spare ball, and that different look. Because you can make the big ball look like urethane-ish. If they were still able to make spec, you'd be fine. Storm, make it a priority. Bring back the pro motion. But yeah, that's just kind of, and in general, what to bring to Junior Gold. Services is something that I'm going to make a separate video for, and like what to look for that. But in general, bring sanding pads. If you can afford it and you have the money, bring a ball. Have a ball spinner with you. They make kits where all you need is a drill and separate sanding pads, and you can surface your own bowling balls. You're also going to need water. Do need to mention that I have that here at my house just in case I can't go to the pro shop. I'm getting a ball spinner soon, but yeah, there are multiple reasons to get something like that for Junior Gold. I think they're more expensive than they were. I got mine and it was like $60. Now they're like $150. Yeah, things have gotten more expensive, but they're really useful to have if you're not gonna have your own ball, like actual ball spinner. But I have been OSIMA Ball Reviews. I wish you luck at Junior Gold, and I hope I don't miss y'all next time. Thanks for watching.